Garlic is praised as a miracle. But here's the nightmare almost 99% of seniors don't know. Garlic thins your blood so powerfully that one wrong habit could leave you bleeding uncontrollably. The numbers are terrifying. In a thrombosis research study, garlic reduced platelet activity, the very cells that stop bleeding, by 60% in just 1 week. Another trial in the Journal of Nutrition found seniors who ate garlic had clotting times reduced by nearly 20%, meaning their blood stayed thin and unstable for hours. Combine that with aspirin, which almost half of adults over 65 take daily, and the effect multiplies. One analysis showed garlic plus aspirin stretched bleeding time by over 40%. That means what used to be a quick nosebleed could pour like a faucet, and what used to be a safe bruise could spread like ink across your skin. And it doesn't stop there. A 2015 review revealed that mixing garlic with alcohol at night raised bleeding risk by up to 30%, while another study showed garlic supplements before surgery made it nearly impossible to control blood loss. This isn't a rare side effect, it's a hidden epidemic, and almost no one is being warned. Tonight, we uncover the 6 deadliest mistakes with garlic mistakes that are silently thinning blood in seniors everywhere. And mistake number 2. A shocking everyday combination so dangerous researchers couldn't believe how common it was. Every source is in the description. Don't take my word for it. Check the science. Now tell me, how often do you eat garlic, and where are you watching from? We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's start with mistake number 6, and why eating garlic on an empty stomach could be far more dangerous than you think. Number 6. Eating garlic on an empty stomach. Most seniors have heard the tip that garlic is best when eaten first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. While it's true that raw garlic is powerful, doing this can push your blood-thinning effect into dangerous territory. The reason is simple. When garlic's active compound allicin enters your bloodstream without any food to slow it down, its absorption skyrockets. A study in Phytotherapy Research, 2016, showed that raw garlic extract increased fibrinolytic activity, the body's ability to break down blood clots, by nearly 30% within just hours of consumption. That's helpful if your blood is sticky and clots too easily. But if you're already taking medications like aspirin, warfarin, or even fish oil supplements, this effect can tip the scale too far, turning normal blood flow into uncontrolled bleeding risk. One retired carpenter named Joseph, 72, thought he was boosting his heart health by chewing 2 cloves every morning before breakfast. Within weeks, he started noticing large purple bruises on his arms from the slightest bump. And when he nicked his hand while shaving, the bleeding wouldn't stop. His doctor quickly traced it back to his new morning garlic habit, which was interacting with his prescription blood thinner. The scary part is that most people don't connect these dots. They see bruises as just aging or slow healing as normal after 70. But in reality, the mistake of eating garlic on an empty stomach makes the allicin hit your system like a hammer. It thins blood before you've even had your first coffee, leaving you vulnerable all day long. And seniors with existing health conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease are the ones most at risk because they're already on medications that do the same thing. So here's the bottom line. Garlic can still be healthy, but never take it raw on an empty stomach. Always combine it with food to slow the release, balance the effect, and protect yourself. If you skip this, you could be thinning your blood more than your body can handle. And that brings us straight into mistake number 5. One you'll be shocked to learn involves how you cook your garlic. Before we dive deeper, show your support by liking this video and subscribing. You can't afford to miss the next secret. Number 5. Mixing garlic with blood-thinning medications, aspirin, warfarin. This is the most dangerous overlap that seniors rarely think about. Garlic already contains compounds like allicin and ajoin that make your blood less likely to clot. Now imagine stacking that natural effect on top of prescribed blood thinners such as aspirin, warfarin, or clopidogrel. It's like turning down the volume on your body's clotting system twice at the same time. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2010, found that combining garlic supplements with aspirin increased bleeding time by more than 40%, even in people who took small doses. That means the cut that used to clot in minutes might keep flowing for hours, and an internal bleed, like in the stomach or brain, could become a life-threatening emergency before anyone realizes what's happening. The danger is that many seniors are on these medications already. According to the CDC, nearly half of adults over 65 take daily aspirin or prescribed anticoagulants. Add garlic to that mix, especially in raw or supplement form, and you create a fragile balance where even a small bump, dental procedure, or minor fall could spiral into uncontrollable bleeding. Margaret, a 74-year-old retired teacher, used to crush garlic into her salad every evening while also taking her prescribed warfarin. She thought she was doubling her protection against strokes. But one night she woke up with severe stomach pain, only to discover in the ER that she was bleeding internally. The doctors told her it wasn't the warfarin alone. It was the garlic amplifying the effect until her blood simply couldn't clot. What makes this mistake even more alarming is how invisible it feels. There's no flashing warning sign when your blood gets too thin. The symptoms sneak up quietly: excessive bruising, prolonged nosebleeds, bleeding gums when brushing your teeth. Seniors often dismiss these as just aging, but they're red flags your blood has gone too far in the wrong direction. If you're taking any blood-thinning medications, garlic is not off-limits forever, but it must be carefully balanced. Always ask your doctor before mixing the two, and never assume that natural means safe, because in this case, natural garlic plus pharmaceutical blood thinners is a recipe for silent danger. Now let's move to mistake number 4, which can change its effect completely. Number 4. Consuming excess garlic daily, over 4 cloves. Garlic works like medicine, but just like medicine, the dose matters. Too much of it can push your blood into dangerous territory. Most studies show that 1 to 2 cloves a day is safe for general heart health. But when intake jumps to 4, 5, or more cloves daily, the risk of uncontrolled blood thinning grows rapidly. A trial published in Molecular Nutrition and Food Research, 2012, showed that high doses of raw garlic extract increased bleeding risk markers by nearly 55% in adults. That's not a small difference. It's the kind of shift that turns a helpful herb into something closer to a blood-thinning drug. The reason is simple. Compounds like allicin don't build up in your bloodstream forever, but when you overload the system daily, they create a sustained effect. Your platelets, tiny blood cells responsible for clotting, become sluggish and less sticky. That sounds protective until you realize platelets are the body's emergency repair team. Without them, even a tiny injury or blood vessel rupture can lead to prolonged bleeding or internal bruising. Edwin, a 69-year-old former accountant, believed more garlic meant more protection, so he swallowed 5 raw cloves every morning. Within months, he noticed unexplained nosebleeds that soaked through tissues and bruises spreading across his arms. What frightened him most was when he cut his finger opening a package and couldn't stop the bleeding for nearly 40 minutes. His doctor quickly explained that his extra garlic habit was overwhelming his body's clotting system. Excess garlic can also irritate the stomach lining, making hidden gastrointestinal bleeding more likely in seniors who already have thinner stomach walls and often take medications that increase risk. These bleeds don't always show dramatic symptoms at first. Sometimes it's just fatigue, dizziness, or black stools that many mistake for normal aging. But underneath, blood loss is steadily draining strength. So while garlic is powerful, more is not better. The difference between 2 cloves and 6 cloves a day could be the difference between healthy blood flow and an emergency hospital visit. Keep intake moderate, because in this case, excess doesn't mean extra health. It means extra danger. And that takes us directly into mistake number 3, which has less to do with how much you eat and more with how you prepare it. Number 3, using aged garlic supplements plus fresh garlic together. Many seniors think if garlic is healthy, then combining different forms must be even healthier. But mixing aged garlic supplements with fresh garlic is like doubling down on the same effect without realizing it. Aged garlic extract is concentrated. It's designed to give the benefits of multiple cloves in a single capsule. Add raw garlic on top of that, and you've essentially stacked two blood-thinning agents. Research in the Journal of Cardiovascular Pharmacology, 2014, found that aged garlic extract reduced platelet aggregation, the clumping needed to stop bleeding, by nearly 35% on its own. That's powerful. Now imagine compounding it with fresh cloves that release allicin, another clot-preventing compound. The result is blood that may become too thin to protect you. This is where things get dangerous. Supplements are easy to underestimate because they look harmless, just capsules in a bottle. But when paired with raw garlic in meals, the combined impact is much stronger than most seniors expect. It's similar to taking two versions of the same medication without knowing it. They interact, and your body pays the price. Harold, a 76-year-old retired mechanic, thought he was doing the smart thing by taking an aged garlic capsule in the morning and then adding 3 cloves of raw garlic to his soup at night. Within weeks, he began noticing frequent nosebleeds that wouldn't stop, even from a slight scratch inside his nostril. His physician quickly spotted the overlap and warned that if Harold had needed surgery or dental work, he could have faced uncontrollable bleeding. The problem is subtle because the symptoms often don't scream danger. Instead, they creep in quietly, unexpected bruises, gums bleeding when brushing, or blood that takes unusually long to clot after a cut. Seniors often brush this off as part of aging, when in reality, it's the compounded effect of garlic taken in multiple forms. Garlic supplements have their place, and so does fresh garlic in meals, but combining them without supervision is a hidden trap. One alone is powerful. Together, they can push your blood into unsafe territory. Always choose one source, not both, unless a doctor specifically approves the combination. Now, let's move to mistake number 2, which exposes how garlic can quietly clash with another everyday routine most seniors never question. Number 2, eating garlic right before surgery or dental work. This mistake is more common than you think, and far more dangerous. Garlic may seem harmless, but eating it in the days leading up to surgery or even a simple dental procedure can create a serious bleeding risk. Why? Because garlic slows platelet activity, meaning your blood clots much more slowly. In a controlled study published in Anesthesia and Analgesia, 2001, patients who consumed garlic extract before surgery experienced significantly prolonged bleeding times compared to those who avoided it. For surgeons and dentists, that translates into difficulty controlling bleeding during and after a procedure. The risk is highest for seniors because many already take medications that affect clotting, and their blood vessels are more fragile with age. A routine tooth extraction or knee replacement can quickly spiral into a dangerous situation if garlic is still active in the system. That's why many surgical guidelines now recommend stopping garlic supplements or heavy garlic intake at least 7 days before surgery. Yet many seniors have never been told this. Evelyn, a 71-year-old retired nurse, scheduled cataract surgery and proudly told her doctor how she was boosting her immunity by taking garlic capsules right up to the night before. On the operating table, her surgeon struggled to control the steady bleeding from tiny blood vessels that should have sealed within minutes. Though she recovered, her doctor later explained that the garlic in her system had made her blood too thin to cooperate. The tricky part is that the danger doesn't always show immediately. Sometimes it's after the procedure, when a senior goes home, that hidden bleeding begins. Symptoms like swelling, dizziness, or oozing from a surgical site can be dismissed as normal recovery. But in reality, they can be early signs of uncontrolled bleeding. The takeaway is clear. Garlic is powerful medicine, and surgeries or dental work demand balance. Always inform your doctor or dentist if you consume garlic regularly, whether as food or supplements. And most importantly, stop garlic intake at least a week before any planned procedure unless your physician says otherwise. What feels like a healthy habit can quickly become a surgical complication. And now we arrive at mistake number 1, the most shocking and overlooked danger of all, revealed by a surprising global study. Number 1. Taking garlic with alcohol at night. This is the most overlooked but also the most dangerous mistake of all. Many seniors enjoy a glass of wine or a nightcap before bed, and garlic often sneaks in at dinner. On their own, each may feel harmless, but together, alcohol and garlic create a perfect storm for blood thinning. Alcohol itself already interferes with platelet function, making them less sticky and slower to form clots. Add garlic, which contains allicin and a joan that do the same thing, and the effect multiplies. A study in the Journal of Thrombosis and Hemostasis, 2015, found that even moderate alcohol use increased bleeding risk by 20 to 30% when combined with natural blood-thinning foods like garlic. That means a single evening of mixing the two could leave your blood far too thin to protect you overnight. The problem grows worse with age. Seniors process alcohol more slowly, so it lingers in the system longer. Combine that with garlic's long-lasting impact on clotting, and the danger stretches into the next morning. What seems like a harmless dinner habit can increase the risk of nosebleeds, stomach bleeds, or even hemorrhagic stroke. The body needs a fine balance between clotting and thinning, and this combination smashes that balance apart. Douglas, a 70-year-old retiree, had a nightly ritual of enjoying red wine with his garlic-heavy pasta. He thought he was strengthening his heart with the Mediterranean lifestyle. But after weeks of this habit, he began waking up with bleeding gums and black stools, classic signs of gastrointestinal bleeding. His doctor quickly connected the dots. The mix of garlic and alcohol was silently eroding his body's ability to clot properly. What makes this mistake so frightening is its invisibility. Seniors don't feel their platelets slowing down. They only see the aftermath: unexplained bruises, prolonged bleeding from a small cut, or fatigue from hidden internal blood loss. By the time symptoms appear, the damage may already be advanced. The truth is, garlic can still be part of a healthy diet, and occasional alcohol can be tolerated by many, but never combine the two, especially at night when your body is less prepared to respond to bleeding emergencies. It's a silent trap that too many seniors fall into without ever realizing. So let's recap what we've uncovered. Garlic is powerful medicine, but it becomes a hidden danger when handled the wrong way. We exposed 6 mistakes seniors make every day: eating it on an empty stomach, mixing it with blood-thinning medications, consuming far too much, stacking supplements with fresh cloves, taking it before surgery or dental work, and the most overlooked of all, combining it with alcohol at night. Each of these mistakes chips away at your body's ability to clot, leaving you one step closer to dangerous bleeding you may never see coming until it's too late. The real tragedy is how normal these habits look on the surface. A clove at breakfast, a capsule for immunity, a glass of wine with dinner. These don't sound like reckless choices, but for seniors, every small detail matters. With age, the body changes, blood vessels weaken, platelets slow down, and medications interact more strongly. What once was safe can suddenly tip into the danger zone. That's why ignoring these mistakes is not just careless, it's risky. Think about Joseph, Margaret, Edwin, Harold, Evelyn, and Douglas, the fictional seniors we met in this video. Their stories may be imagined, but their struggles are based on very real dangers thousands of older adults face every day. These aren't rare medical flukes. They're predictable outcomes of habits we too often overlook. And that's why I want you to see garlic not just as food, but as something closer to medicine, powerful, healing, but requiring respect and moderation. Now it's your turn. How do you usually eat garlic raw, cooked, in capsules, or mixed into meals? Have you ever noticed unexplained bruising, bleeding gums, or nosebleeds after eating more than usual? Tell your story in the comments because your experience could save someone else's life. We read and respond to every single comment, and this channel is built on sharing real voices, real struggles, and real solutions. If this video opened your eyes, don't stop here. Hit that like button to push this message out to more seniors who need it. Share it with friends or family members who might be making these mistakes without realizing it. And if you're new here, subscribe and join our growing community because we're releasing new videos every week exposing the hidden dangers and life-saving habits every senior deserves to know. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, your health is in your hands, and sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest difference. We'd love to hear your stories and feedback. Leave a comment below, and thanks for tuning in.